yay tall, and he's got, show me a hair, bro. He's not old. I almost want to say that he's probably maybe in his 60s. That's how he's showing himself to me. But he's kind of like more like this. He's kind of hunched over a little bit. And he's wearing some pants. He's got on suspenders and just a like short sleeve shirt. He's he doesn't have glasses on, but he's kind of, I don't want to say he's old. He doesn't really look super old. But he's got like sparing hair in the top, but it's like a brownish gray speckled color around here. And it's not like bald, but it's more sparing. You can tell it's starting to thin out, is how I'll say. And he's like I said, he stands like this, but he's kind of a fun guy. He's not anything mean. And I'm also going to tell you, I think you guys have other people from around here. It's not just associated with this house. You guys have other people that come and go too. So, and there's also a little girl that's over here as well. Thank you. There's also a little boy that's over here too. I almost want to say he's probably around 10-ish. He looks like he's not as tall. See, Xander is 12. He looks shorter. And I feel like this kid also is shorter. And I don't know if he ever had braces on his legs, but he almost looks like he's got braces on his legs. Like he's not actually able to walk the way that he's supposed to. He's not appearing that way to me right now. He looks like he's fine. Like on the other side, we're fine. But I feel like he probably had braces because when he takes a step, I hear a weird like, thank you, that does make more sense. He did have braces because he's showing me these little itty bitty shoes. Like he's showing me these shoes that would have been like the old, they kind of come up like booty shoes. And they have these things on the sides of them and they like attach to different, it's like this. And when he's taking a walk, I hear like that. So he did have braces on his shoes at one point in time. Thank you so much. There's also somebody else who's here, and I'm not exactly sure who he is because he's not showing me how old he is, but he's taking me into my head, and he's also making me feel like he had something going on in his head prior to his passing. I almost want to say, like, I feel like I have encephalitis almost, if that's what it's called, where you have liquid in your brain, because he's making me feel like there's a whole lot of pressure that's happening in his head. It's almost like my brain is kind of like, I don't know, there's a lot of liquid surrounding it, but I almost want to say it's also like too tight in my head for my body because I also am having a really hard time hearing from my ears. And he's doing this to me, which usually, thank you, he's doing this, which also means to me that he couldn't speak or communicate with his words prior to his passing the way that he wanted to. He snaps his fingers and goes downhill really quickly for me. But I feel like he was sick probably for a prolonged period of time. He's making me feel like everybody knew that he was sick, but he goes downhill really quickly. And everybody just loved him because he's actually bringing everybody from the whole entire town to him. And that means to me that everybody helped take care of him and his family prior to him taking his last breath. He is probably, once again, can't see him because that's not how he's channeling with me. He's doing remote viewing, so it feels like I'm him. But he's making me feel like he had the best family in the world. Like, I feel like his family absolutely loved him to pieces. He's also making me feel like he had a hard time kind of seeing prior to his passing the way that he wanted to. And I feel like he actually saw stuff in the house. Now, I don't know if he's associated with this house. I don't know because that's not the room he's showing to me. So I'm a little bit confused right now. He's showing me what looks like a closet, but I don't think he would have been stuffed in a closet. Thank you. I have a woman named Marlene that's stepping in. I don't know who the heck she is because she's very prim. She's very proper. She's dressed very beautifully. She also has like dark hair, little curly. It's in like a loose bun to the back of her head and it's kind of like this, and she's got her bangs that are down. Obviously that's not how she looked before she passed because she's making me feel like she was actually much older when she passed. This is not somebody who passed when she was this age. I almost want to say that she was probably in her mid-70s, maybe early 80s prior to her passing. She's doing this to me, which also means that she either had dementia or Alzheimer's prior to her passing, and she's giving me a length of time, like a long time. I almost want to say she was sick with this illness probably for about 10 to 12, maybe 15 years prior to actually going downhill really, really fast. But her name is Marlene. And I also, this guy just wants to, have you ever seen the Up guy? Have you ever seen Carl from the movie Up? That's what he reminds me of. He is the cutest guy. Like, he's adorable. He's taller than him. Oh gosh, he's like this. I'm turning the light on. Oh, no, don't turn the light on. I see better in the dark. If you guys need the light, I guess
I'm
I
good.
can. He's funny though.
They're a little funky at the top.
That's why I take my shoes off. I do better with no shoes. So this is actually kind of funny what he's doing, and I don't know who this guy is. He's really funny, and I feel like this was his house. He's making me feel like this was my damn house, and excuse my French, but that's what he said, my damn house. And I think he still thinks it's his dang house, even though you guys may have moved in and done a great job about it. I still feel like it's my house. Also, thank you. I don't remember past readings at all. I don't remember past experiences. He's making me feel, and you can tell me if I'm wrong because you were over there. He's making me feel like he was the one that was connected with the other house, is how he's giving this to me. Because he's making me feel like it's packed to the brim with stuff, so he has to come and stay somewhere else so he can have a place to stay, but he's still surrounding me with a bunch of junk. So that means to me that he was still, no matter where he was, it's like I can't find a place to walk, is how he's presenting this to me and making me feel like he had to like shuffle over stuff. And then like, he is snapping his fingers for me, and I feel like his passing was very quick, very unexpected is how he's giving this to me. I feel like he was sick for a long period of time because he's also making me feel like he knew that he was sick. But at the same time, I feel like my heart, like I have congestive heart failure almost is how he's presenting this to me. Like I have such a heaviness in my chest. And he's so funny because he's almost making me feel like he was a stubborn old man that really never ever wanted to get any medical help from anybody because he's really stubborn and very old school. But geez almighty, was he a wonderful guy. He's also passing candy to kids. So please don't know if that's something that he used to do, but he's making me feel like he had like the weird candy that no kids really want to have because it's all stuck together, but we got the candy in the jar, so he's also doing that to me. Also, there's a Frank. He wants to bring up Frank. Frank used to be downtown in a store. There was somebody who owned a general store named Frank or worked at a general store is how he's giving this to me. And he's also bringing him here because he's making me feel like these houses were the highlight of the town. And so these are the houses that used to have everybody in and out of them. And it got to the place where they couldn't have people in and out of them anymore. And so he's given lots of love, and he's just making me feel like y'all are still having a party here, so please just know you're probably going to hear stuff. He is making me feel like the doors open and shut. He's making me feel like we walk from one room to another, like shutting doors, opening doors, shutting doors, opening doors. And he thinks it's hilarious because he's also doing this to me, which usually means to me, is your husband up here? I can't see him. Are you skeptic? He's doing this to me, which means that you're a little bit on the skeptical side when it comes to seeing us and wanting to see us.
No,
But he's also making me feel like he gives you things to find. So when you were going through and redoing this house, like did you ever like find coins, pennies, nickels, dimes, stuff like that? Because he's making me feel like he hid them for you, so you can find them all over the place. He's making me feel like you and him are a lot alike. He's making me feel like you are a jack of all trades. You know a lot about a lot of things. And he is patting you on the back, so that just means to me that when you're doing stuff around the house, he's probably the one that's helping you because he's still trying to micromanage from the other side. He is a really, really, really fun human being. Also, he wants to thank you because he's making me feel like he never thought that this house was going to be able to be flipped the way that it was, because I don't think it was set up for what you guys have it set up for. He's making me feel like it was really hard for you to get like the electrical where the electrical needed to be. It was really hard for you to do this where it needed to be, so you guys could actually have the stuff that you have in this house. And he is like, man, talk about a master right here. This guy is just loving on you, something fierce. Also, you do have a grandfather on the other side, dad's side of the family. He's also giving you lots of love, and he is making you feel like you are just a cool guy. He goes, this is not the time, we're not going to do that right now, but I just want you to know I'm here. Is this a spare room?
Because you have the light on. Well, I'm trying to get in front of her, but
I was like, because he's not making me that right there, is I should have paid more attention. I've got one person in the bed is how he's giving this to me. I feel like it's a very comfortable space. He's making me feel like it is very, very comfortable for you. The house is very, very comfortable for you. So even though you guys might wake up in the middle of the night and see stuff like lurking in doorways or standing in doorways, it's not anything that's like creepy or weird or off. You might get creeped out at first, or people who come and stay with you, because he's also making me feel like some of your family also still comes and stays with you guys every now and then. They may get a little bit creeped out with some of the things that they see because it comes off as shadow figures. But he is making me, he wants everybody to be aware. Shadow figures are not always negative. It just means that we can't manifest ourselves the way that we want to manifest ourselves, and so it's not like a full body apparition. However, I do think you guys have actually seen full body apparitions in this house. He is making me feel like on a stepway or a doorway or something along the hallway is how he's giving this to me. That you guys have actually seen a full body human being standing out there, and it's almost like super quick. He's doing this to me with you, which means that you're a highly psychic human being. And that means that you see a lot out of your third eye, which is really funny because a lot of people don't understand that when they like turn and they see things, like you see a person, a woman standing there, and then all of a sudden you look back and they're not there. They're like, oh, my eyes were playing tricks on me, or oh, that was wishful thinking. No, that's not what that is. There are no coincidences. That's actually your third eye, and that's how most people see spirit. They don't generally see them with their eyeballs, they see them with their third eye. And so he just wants you to know that you are seeing a plethora of people from Ionia in this house, and it's you that's calling them in because you are the one that opened the door by doing the searching, doing the looking. So please know, everybody's very grateful for you. I think also you need to give yourself a pat on the back because it's really making me feel, I gotta tell you, this is a different person. This is a woman stepping in. Don't know who she is yet. But she's stepping in right now, and she's making me feel like you really need to do, like, give yourself a pat on the back. Because first of all, I feel like the people that you work with, and it's probably like the historical people that you work with, I feel like you guys are great in trying to preserve the history of Ionia. Like, I feel like you guys all really love this town and the history of what the town was founded on. But they're really making me feel like you've kind of come in and changed it a little bit and tried to like change a little things to really bring history back alive. And she just loves you for that. So thank you so very much for telling their stories with so much love and understanding. And also, do you guys have, like, in the summertime, do you guys have like a play or something like that where they either used to act out certain things that happened in Ionia, or are you guys trying to open the door to bringing something like that back? Because she's really making me feel like now would be the time to get those things back in, because now I think people are starting to get a little bit reanimated about this town, okay? So she's just given lots and lots of love to everybody who's here, and I really she is just a funny, sparky, spicy woman, okay? Spicy woman. Little woman, but she's a spicy woman. Kind of petite. I feel like she's more petite than I want to say. And I do feel like as she got older, she probably got a little bit bigger, but she's showing me once again her younger version of herself, which is probably also what you guys are going to see, because she's making me feel like when she was young, I feel like that's when she was the most beautiful, and that's how she wants to be remembered. She's also giving me this very beautiful sun hat, which usually means to me also that's how you're going to see her. And when you do see women, because you have seen women, correct? Like you've actually seen women spirit, because she's making me feel like you see the women. Do you see them in like blue haziness? Because she's almost making me feel like we have this beautiful glow to us when you see them. And so she just wants you to know that once again, it's how your eyes are able to see versus, but I gotta tell you, you're starting to unlock some of those gifts that you have. Congratulations. So do you have tomatoes?
We have one over here too, I don't know.
Do you have tomatoes that you're growing? Oh, sorry. She says no, we're going this way. I'm following her apparently, because she says we're going this way. Thank you. Do you know if there was ever a leak in that bathroom?
I don't know.
She's taking the plumbing, and I don't know if there's like, or was, a clawfoot tub in there. She's showing me what looks like a clawfoot tub. But how she's showing it to me is like, it's the piping that goes underneath the tub is how she's giving it to me, and she's almost making me feel like there was a leak that took place underneath it. And do you know if one of the houses ever had a fire?
I don't know.
She's making me feel like there was an electrical issue that the house had at one point in time, and it's like sparking. It's old wires because of how she's showing it to me. It's like, thank you. It's like this thing that has knobs on it, and it's got these like, I don't know what the heck they are. They're wires obviously, but they look almost like they're cloth, but there's these glass knob things that go into the wall. And she's making me feel like they like weren't working correctly, and it's like they're sparking, and she's literally making me feel like they're trying to put out fires because she's doing this to me, and she's making me feel like before it got changed over, that was something that they really had to look out for in this house. So once again, also gonna say, I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like you guys hear stuff. Because I have this little girl that's over here, and she's little. I want to say she's probably about 4 or 5. She's super, super adorable. Thank you so very much. You also have another little kid. Holy crap, you have so many children. second, she won't talk to me. She's super cute. She's super cute. She's got red hair, and it's like, it's the most beautiful red hair. It's fuzzy though. It's like curly-ish, but it's like, you know, hot humid days and how her hair like goes poof.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she looks like. She's got the cutest hair, but it's like, it's a hot mess. It is. She's really dirty too. Like, she really likes to play outside with the boys, and I don't think she's supposed to be outside with the boys. She's making me feel like they really want her to like sit in this chair, and they want me to do this. No, she doesn't want to do that. She's taken her little dress and she's hiking it up, and she's got these cute little things underneath, and she's making me feel like she'd be like all over in the mud doing everything that the boys did, and she's doing this to me, which means that she's probably a little bit in trouble for that sometimes, but she is so adorable. She is adorable. Don't know her name, don't know who she is. She just wanted to come, and she's almost making me feel like you know who she is, so she's giving you lots of love, okay? I don't know who the heck she is, though. All the only thing she's showing to me that makes any lick of sense is green eyes and red hair. That's all she's showing to me, other than her cute little niece, because I gotta tell you, she is covered in mud. You guys know a John?
That's past or that's living?
Living.
I do know John.
Okay, I don't know how he's connected to you, but I have somebody else who's kind of coming in, and they're almost making me feel like they're a part of, like, his situation. So I don't know who it is. I'm almost gonna say that I feel like, thank you. Can you do it differently? Okay. So what I have going on is I have this guy over here who's talking about a John who's alive, and I think he's attached to him, which I'm not trying to hone in on that too much because I don't know how you're gonna messages over there. That's not what we're here for right now. But I have somebody else who gave me the name William and Edward. So I don't know if it's William Edward or Edward William, but he's kind of trying to put the names together for me, and he is on the other side. There's also another dude. He does not want to talk to me. So here's the cool thing. I don't want to freak y'all out because when I talk about people in life are no different than they are on the other side. Sometimes we have grumpy people. This guy is a really grumpy dude, and he does not want anybody to talk to him. Like at all. And I almost want to say that he probably passed around 1925, 1926 is how he's giving himself to me. He really likes to stay back, and I am going to say that I don't necessarily know if you guys have changed the energy of the house, because he's making me feel like when you first came in, the energy probably didn't feel this way. The energy was probably a little heavier, and it's not scary. There's a big difference between scary and negative and like just heaviness that's in a house. And he's almost making me feel like there was a lot of heaviness that was stuck in this house for a period of time, because it's like it passes and it passes and it passes. So I don't know if that passed hands and it passed more hands and it passed more hands, but he's almost making me feel like this was not a labor of love for a long period of time. And because of that, it's just like the imprints of everybody who kind of came in and out, like it's just weird. And so it's almost like you have all these different characters coming in and out, leaving the imprints, and so you guys literally had to change it. He's a good guy, he's just a grumpy guy. He's somebody who's definitely going to watch out after your house. He's going to make sure that nobody's in here mucking things up, stealing from you. He's going to be a good guy on your behalf. But it's weird because I am going to say he's not crossed over. But he's not crossed over on his own account. He doesn't want to. He's making me feel like he feels more comfortable being here in his existence. So please just know he means absolutely no harm. So if ever you guys are like going by the stairway or something like that, because he's almost making me feel like this is it, like I stand here and I stand up in this area is how he's giving this to me, like I'm watching over. And I feel like you guys feel like his grumpiness, and it's not. He's not meaning to be grumpy. So you guys may feel like you're being watched from behind. That's him, but he doesn't want you to be scared of being watched from behind because he wants you to know that there's no harm ever that's going to come to you guys when he's watching you, okay? So please just know that. Also, do one of you have a hip issue?
I do.
Okay, he's giving me a hitch in my giddy up is what he's doing. He's literally making me feel like some days I get up and I feel like I just need to move around a little bit. That's why he's watching out after you on the stairs. Okay? So that's why he's doing it. He just wants you to know that he's taking out and caring after you just because like I said, he feels like you've done so good. Like, I feel like you've done so good trying to put life back into old things, and I just feel like he's so proud of that. Like, I feel so proud. Also, do you guys know if there was a weird speakeasy downtown? Like, was there alcohol that kind of came in and out of that place that wasn't supposed to have alcohol coming in and out of that place? I'm gonna tell you, he's a whiskey drinker. He really likes whiskey, and he's making me feel like he used to go to the speakeasy because he's actually making me feel like it's almost like a it's so cool. I feel like it looked completely different on the outside. So if people were to come in, it's okay, so this is the front of this building, and then you walk behind this weird door, and then you have all these people dancing and probably some prostitution, possibly things that weren't supposed to be going on, because he is making me feel like there were some pretty not so good girls there, but he's also acknowledging that he used to partake in those activities. So please just know, he just wants you to know he was a part of the whole scene for a long period of time, okay? Oh, thank you, sir. He got in an accident and hit his head, and that's how this man died. He is actually getting into, I'm seeing an old car, and he is I gotta tell you, I feel like he was a drunk when he was alive, because he's really making me feel like he had a problem with alcoholism. This is I feel like I'm drunk most of the time. Very fun guy, but really like to get in his Barbarels. He's really making me feel like there's probably some stories about him out there that you could dig up. I really wish he could give me a name, so I'm just gonna ask him if he could do so before I leave today. If he doesn't, then he doesn't, but I feel like he'd be a fun guy to dig up information on. Thank you. Do you remember, have either of you ever watched Andy Griffith?
Yes.
You know Ernest T. Bass?
Yeah.
That's what he reminds me of. This guy is a hoot. He's fun, he's small, but he is feisty. Especially when he drinks. He is a feisty man. And so he's just making me feel like he just wants y'all to know that he's a part of this. I almost feel like I feel like he had his own house, but he's also making me feel like he just kind of was a part of everything that took place. And so he's very thankful that you guys have turned this into what it is. And I feel like the house has got good bones. He's making me feel like when y'all came in, there may have been some things that needed to be changed, but the house has got great bones. It's really good. Thank you. Do you ever feel anybody sit down on the bed with you? Okay. Yep.
I do.
It's really funny because they're making me feel like we were talking about that. Lisa and I were talking about that downstairs. And what they're doing is they're making me feel like you're not wrong. You do have people that come and sit on the beds with you guys, so just know it's almost like it's just right here, very slow. And it's just I see it, I feel it, and it's a little indentation, and then all of a sudden it comes right back up almost, and it's okay, I felt it. Who are you? Thank you, whoever you are. So yes, please just know that they're there. I don't know. He's making me feel like you have a lot of little stuff take place in this space. Not necessarily in this one space, but the whole upstairs is how he's giving this to me. He's making me feel like there's a lot of things that kind of come up and take place, and it's mostly in the form of hearing. He's making me feel like we hear a lot of things up here. And I don't know if you have water that turns on or water that turns off, because he's almost making me feel like one of the faucets will start to drip a little bit faster than the other, so it's not full on head pouring water. But he's really making me feel like that will happen. He's making me feel like we hear doors. It's creaking. And it's really weird because I can't really hear myself. This is a solid floor, but he's making me feel like we hear people walking up and down, which you shouldn't really be able to hear that because it's so solid. Yeah. But he's really making me feel like they do some stuff to make y'all feel like they're here. You've got a house full of people. You don't have just one or two people. It's you guys have welcomed all of Ionia into this space. Everybody and their brother comes. And also you guys have a dog. It looks like a poodle. It's a miniature type poodle, but it's so funny looking because it's a blackish color, but it's almost the weirdest type of poodle because it looks like it's missing hair almost. So.
Casper.
Yeah, carrying this poodle.
Oh, you know that poodle. Awesome.
Yeah.
And this is weird when you go down, just so you know.
Yeah, I felt it when I came up. It's a little bit. I'm just making sure they don't need me to go anywhere else because they're just making me feel. I mean, like, I think you guys have a plethora of things happen in this space. And I also want you to know, like, I don't know if you guys ever have, like, I know you do. I know you specifically probably feel a whole lot, Kathleen. Because it's almost like the mood or the temperature will change based on what energy is around you. And so how they're presenting it to me is they're just making me feel like there's a lot of things that happen in this space. Also, you guys got a lot of stuff that keeps disappearing. You guys have several spirit friends that really like to mess with the veil. And that's how they're giving this to me. When they mess with the veil, that's kind of like what keeps spirit from being seen for us. And so what happens is, like, we'll set something down every single, like, day at the exact same pace. But when you get back there the next day, you're like, where did it go? And then you're probably asking him, did you move it? Did you touch it? Did you do something with it? And then he comes in, he's like, dude, it's right here where you just said it wasn't. That's them manipulating the energy around you guys. But it's all in the most beautiful fun because they're really making me feel like you guys just have the coolest people here. But it's not just like, it's not just your family, which is usually what I see. I see a lot of family. This is not just your family. You have tons of cool people that have been a part of both houses. And I almost want to say the spicy lady was probably one of the ladies that I channeled for before. Because she feels very similar to me. She just didn't really have, I feel like there's a separation. She's almost making me feel like that's my house. That's my house. Like, this is a second house. Like, this isn't where my house is, even though I feel like she might have had to move over here or something along those lines. But she's not making me feel like this isn't her house. Like, if she had a pick of the two, that's her house next door. So please just know she's making me feel like, yes, she comes back and forth between the two places, but this isn't necessarily where she likes to call home. So she will kind of stick out a little bit more over there. Oh, she just loves you. She just loves you, Kathleen. She loves you so much. Also, you have an aunt that's also on the other side giving you lots of love. She's on mom's side of the family. She is making me feel like you are just a really cool human being. No, I don't do names most of the time. If they bestow upon me a name, I feel just as grateful as what you would. But she's giving to me that you're a really cool person. She's doing this for me, which means you're very strong, probably within your own, like, moral compass with who you are and how you are, but you are such a sweetheart. You take care of everybody. And she just wants to thank you so much because I feel like you are everybody's dad. Everybody's dad. It's literally, you meet people on the street and you would be their dad too. So she just makes me feel like you are so connected and so close to every single person within your family. Also, do you guys have, like, a German Shepherd that also passed, or know somebody who had a German Shepherd also? Because this is a German Shepherd. It's a little bit smaller than, like, a normal German Shepherd, and it's a lot more skinny. But there's also a German Shepherd that I'm seeing coming up in this space. Thank you. Okay. This has nothing to do with this house. Absolutely nothing to do with this house. I'm not even going to give it because that has absolutely nothing to do with this house. There's somebody. There's somebody who passed of a drug overdose. It's a male who passed of a drug overdose, but he's almost making me feel like it was a couple houses down. Is how he's giving this to me.
That might be family member.
Nope. He did this to me, which is nope. This was like, time out, girl. No. He's actually taking me down. I'm gonna tell you, like, yes, could have been a family member, because now it's a different person. The person that you're thinking of wasn't on and off their use, on and off, because they're making me feel like it wasn't, like, long-term use. I feel like it was more, like, I tried to get my life on track and then I kind of slipped down a little bit and then I tried to get my life on track again. That's what this person's making me feel like, but they're also really making me feel like they were incredibly intelligent, probably could hold the whole entire world in the palm of their hands if they would have believed in their self as much as their family would have believed in them, is how he's presenting this to me. It's just a lot of love, and like I said, there are times where people should come through and there are times where people should not come through. This is one of those places and times. Not everybody alive needs to hear your family story, but he's making me feel like you have a beautiful family on both sides. He's making me feel like you are surrounded by truly grateful, amazing, wonderful people, and he thanks his family immensely because he's giving me a huge roller coaster ride with him, which means that at that point in time, that's what he was. His life was a roller coaster ride. And I feel like they kept giving and giving and giving and trying really hard to get him back on his feet. And how he's also presenting this to me is he does make me feel like he wants everybody to know that it was not on purpose. And I think the family knows that. He's making me feel like they really know that this wasn't on purpose. But he's almost making me feel like it was laced with something else. So I don't feel like it was just what it was that he thought he was taking. He's almost making me feel like there was fentanyl or something like that on top of what it was also, okay? So please just know that he's giving lots of love to everybody around him. And he's also tying a bow around his memorial service, which means to me, first off, he's giving 2 different memorial services, which means that the family probably came in and did their own thing with him before inviting everybody else in. But for the love of Pete, I feel like everybody and their brother came to give their love and their respect for him, and he is making me feel like he was flabbergasted because he did not know that he made that huge of a difference in life when he was here. So he does give lots and lots of love. Do either one of you know of a kid that would have drowned in a pond when you guys were younger?
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple.
Okay. Was it one of them a little boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 of them.
I just gotta tell you,
There's
I
3
have
people.
I was like, there's one of them is stepping forward for me, and he's just making me feel like you guys knew each other around that point in time, and he's just coming in. That's it. That's all. He's just like, hey, I'm here too, because what he's doing is he's making me feel like it's attached to one of you guys, but at the same time, it's just been forever ago. He's making me feel like his feet got like stuck on stuff, debris underneath. It's like this branch that kind of branches out like this. And there's all these little twigs, and like I can't get myself back up. He's making me feel like he couldn't jump back up off of the surface, and it happened so fast because he is. And I also gotta tell you, he's almost making me feel like we all shouldn't have been there. I feel like they shouldn't have been swimming that day. I don't think that that's where he was supposed to be. I think he was saying, "Hey, I'm here," but he wasn't here, and so there was a whole fiasco that ended up taking place. But at the end of the day, he's just giving lots and lots of love to the people that he do, and like all the people that tried to get him and save him. So please just know that he's given lots of love. Also, gotta tell you, the woman that keeps coming through, that's over from the other house, like, I don't know who has the tomatoes, but she is just making me feel like somebody is growing the greatest tomatoes this year. There's literally somebody that has world freaking wide tomatoes, and she is just so happy because I feel like they had to work really hard to get their soil where it needed to be. So she's a part of the tomato growing around here apparently, and I think she just wants people to know that because she's making me feel like she used to have her hands in a lot of stuff when she was here. She's a very crafty woman. I feel like she also was a little bit on the gossipy side because she's making me feel like she used to know all the town jazz. So please just know she still does. You want to know anything, you can just ask her.
That's funny.
She's so cute, so adorable. I feel like that might be it. Is this the staircase that goes upstairs, up and around where we were? Okay, because I see that little redhead girl go do right down and out, right down and out. So I wouldn't be shocked or surprised if you guys ever see like these little weird, thank you, these weird, shadow, but lights. It almost looks like a light to me out of the corner of my eye. I feel like I see this light taking place out of the corner of my eye, and they sit a little bit closer to the ground. Those ones are the really fun ones. Do you have a grandma on mom's side of the family that's passed? Okay, I gotta tell you, she is doing this to me, which means that you're a little on the skeptic side, which is fine. You don't have to believe in me, you just gotta believe in your people. She's doing this, which is closeness and love, and she's also taking the baton and passing it to you, which means that you and her are a whole lot alike, even though you probably don't necessarily feel that way. She's making me feel like you have got the biggest heart on earth. She's doing this to me, which means right now you're going through some stuff in your life. She's not going to get into it because it's not my business, but she does want you to know that you have a whole slew of people that are watching out for you right now on this path change that you're willing to take right now. She's thanking you. You're Louise's guy. She's making me feel like you really like things to be kind of very similar in your life, but at the same time, you're looking so much bigger outside of where you are right now, and she is doing this, which means that now is the time to finally take that jump and do all those things that you've always wanted to do, and she is right here leading the way with you. So just know that all of these little path changes that are taking place in your life, Grandma's doing this, which means she's just a guide role for you in life, and she wants you to know that you're being guided through all of them. She gives you so much love. Like, you have done so much in your life. She is making me feel like you've had obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, and you've jumped every single hurdle. She is so proud of you. Like, I don't think you know how amazing you are. She's really making me feel like you just are somebody who get up every day and just go through the motions, and this is what life is, and then you come home and do this, and it's like, okay, and then we do it all over again, and she's like, oh man, if he could just see from above one day just what a miraculous, amazing person he is. You are so intelligent. And I do believe fully that you could literally manage your own company or manage your own stuff, because she's making me feel like that's kind of the veer that we're taking off on right now. And just know that now is the time to probably do some of that stuff with your life. You've worked so hard to get here. And she just wants you to know she's very happy. Also in the family, there's a little boy that has a birthday that's coming up or just passed, because she's making me feel like it's like a grandson or a great-grandson. So please just know that she's giving happy birthday to the child that also has a birthday. I feel like it's more coming up than it is past. So please just know she's giving a big happy birthday, whoever that is. And also, you guys have a good family. She's making me feel like y'all are pretty close-knit with how you do things. She's separating you, which means that you live in different parts of the state. Like, you kind of like separated a little bit, but you're all still really close. And she is just like, she just loves everybody. She is so happy. Thank you, honey. She's doing this to me, which means that she couldn't speak with her words or communicate the way she wanted to prior to her passing. But she's also giving me head and toe numbness, which also means to me that she was in a state of sleep prior to. She's doing this, which is stubbornness, but she's also making me feel like the stubbornness is more around the time that she was sick, because she's really making me feel like she did not want people taking care of her, because she wanted to take care of everybody else. And so flipping that role from being like mom to daughter or being taken care of was really difficult for her. Oh, but she is so grateful that her family understood that that was so difficult. And she is so very grateful that everybody did everything that they could for her. However, she also wants everybody to remember that you couldn't do anything different, because all of your hands were tied behind your back too, and what the process was in the medical care that she needed for her life. And so please just know and understand there was absolutely nothing else that could have been done in order to change the treatment or change the course for her. She is taking me into my lung structure and almost making me feel like my lungs are like filling with liquid prior to my passing. But if it wasn't pneumonia, I almost want to say it was like a secondary to pneumonia, because she's also making me feel like she had issues with her actual heart prior to taking her last breath. And she's also taking me down into my legs, which means that she could not walk, she could not get up, she could not take care of herself. And that's what was frustrating about her, because she's making me feel like she was somebody who really liked to do things with her life. And it all kind of went downhill for her, and that was so very difficult. Also, she is taking and she's folding up clothes for me, and she's placing them in boxes, which means that people still have some of her clothing. And she is almost making me feel like people have like made things from her stuff. So please just know that if anybody's like taken and like made a pillow or made a blanket or something like that, she's making me feel like that's something that can be utilized for her space. And she's also taken and she's handwriting cards, which probably were recipes. However, she's almost making me feel as though those recipes have been changed. And so they're not necessarily the same recipes that they were. And so even though you try to make those, you're never going to get it right, because she took those things to the grave. So please just know that she's sorry about that. She probably should have changed her recipe documentation, but she's also taking this and taking that and taking this and taking that, and she's making me feel like she didn't really do any kind of measurements at all. She just kind of threw everything into a big pot and hope it turned out good. And it always did. And she is so proud of that. Also, she is taking and rolling out a sugar cookie. So that does mean to me that there's a sugar cookie or a snickerdoodle, because to me it looks like a snickerdoodle. But she's making me feel like that's also something that people still have. And I feel like somebody really wants to find that recipe. But once again, old-fashioned, honey. It's an old-fashioned recipe. You can find it in any Betty Crocker cookbook, is what she just said. So please just know that she's giving lots and lots of love to her family. She just looks out after everybody. Everybody. Also, she's giving lots of love to whomever, I don't know who, because I feel like you guys have a big old family. Somebody lost a baby, and she's specifically giving to me a baby boy because it's wrapped in a blue blanket, and she is making me feel like it was a miscarriage that we had. So please just know and understand that this beautiful grandma has that baby on the other side with her. And she just wants you guys to know that she's surrounding them with love until she can pass them forward for you, okay? She goes, oh, I just love them so much. So please just know. Also, do you guys have one of her rings? Like, did one of her rings come up missing, and then did you find it?
I have a ring.
Do you know if like it ever was misplaced? Because she's making me feel like it was placed in a different box, but then we found it. she's not making me feel like it was ever lost for an extended period of time. She's making me feel like it was put somewhere that I didn't necessarily know it was supposed to be, and then I ended up finding it. I'm like, oh, how did it get in this box? Okay, is how she's giving that to me. So please just know that she's giving lots of love behind that. She's just wanting you to know. I feel like she kind of had something to do with you finding it in that other box. So please just know that's how it is. And do you not wear the ring? She's almost making me feel like you don't wear it because it like doesn't fit you.
No, I wear it. Not very often.
Okay.
It's a wedding band.
Oh,
It
okay.
goes with my
She's
wedding
like
ring.
doing this, and she's like taking it off. I'm like, I don't wear it very often, so just know she's just making me feel like you should probably put it on a little bit more than you
He
do.
doesn't
But
wear
does
this
it like,
either, so
does
he
it,
doesn't even have one, so.
does it fall off you ever?
No, if it's just right.
Did it fall off her?
I don't know.
She's giving me my wedding ring. My wedding ring falls off my hand all the time. Literally is how she's doing this to me. It's like falling off. So I don't know if it didn't fit her right prior to her passing, because she's really making me feel like I'm bloated. Like she's making me feel like I retained an incredible amount of water prior to my passing. Probably was on diuretics or prednisone or something like that, because she's making me feel like there was a lot of water retention in her. And I feel like my ring didn't fit me there. It's like it's not coming off my hand, so we have to take it off my hand because my hands swell. But she's also making me feel like before that I almost want to say that I feel cold and frail in the sense that my hands are cold, and when my hands shrink, then the ring is too big. And so it's really weird. It's just like there's no happy medium right now towards my passing, and this ring fitting me is how she's presenting that to me. Also, do you know if anybody has a cross necklace that they also pass down? Because she's not making me feel like that's hers. She's actually making me feel like that's on the other side of the family. So how she's presenting this to me, she's taking a little cross necklace and she's passing that down as well. So please just know that she's giving lots of love to whoever has that. And I almost want to say that that's on Dad's side of the family, is how she's presenting this to me. So also she's taking and she's making tons of pictures and tons of copies. So I don't know if the family just like recently got some pictures and got them out and started making copies for everybody and putting stuff together for everybody, because like not everybody had the pictures. She's just wanting you guys to know that they were a part of that situation too. So she's giving lots and lots of love. She just loves everybody. She's a little bit on the spicy side though, I do want you to know. She was definitely a woman who said what she meant what she said, but in the most beautiful way. Most beautiful way. She's fun. Okay, I feel like I'm good.
Thank you.
No problem.